What's going on, guys? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. Before we get into today's topic, I just want to say, did Plarium rip off Street Fighter? Is this Chun-Li in Street Fighter? I mean, let me know in the comments down below. But so this is going to be a recap of the Knights of Teleria's episode on last Sunday, where myself, Final Kampachi, we had Jarrett Gaming, Pogo Pinktai, Ace Gonzo, and Nacho all discussing this champion that was just released into us just out of the blue from Plarium, right? And, we broke down her skill kit, gave our opinions and thoughts of where she's going to shine and where, the best place is going to be, and maybe some theory crafting behind that. So hope you guys enjoy it. Let's move into the next part of the show, which is going to be talking about this new Void champion that we got in the middle of the week, which is, man, they don't really do this that often where they just, oh, hey, here's a champion. Right in the middle of the week, no announcement, no nothing. But we have this new one, Shu-Zhen The Valorous, sorry. Looks-wise, just aesthetics looks-wise, what do you guys think? Yes, no? Let's start with Nacho first.
Yeah, it's great. It really hits the Shadowkin vibe. They went a little more PC than they did with Yumiko, so that's cool. I like it. Subtle, but, elegant.
Okay. Kampachi?
Yes, I like her legs. It's like Chun-Li, I'm done.
Okay.
He's a simple man. What can I say? He's a simple man. Simple needs.
Mate, I was just thinking the same thing. Chun-Li's got Chun-Li's legs. 100% there, man.
Okay. Sorry, Pogo?
Yeah, I mean, she fits the Shadowkin vibe pretty well. Like Nacho said, like she's not very extravagant. It's pretty bland. Probably she doesn't have like an 8-foot feather or something. I mean, besides the bows out of her hair, like it needs more. She needs one more piece of flair. When 20's the minimum, it's just the minimum.
Okay. Ace, what about you?
I could go with less clothing. It was good.
You or the champ?
Well, I mean the champ, of course.
Don't ask him to stand up.
Why not both?
He's
Why not both?
Yeah, all you see is right here. Come on. She looks.
I'm tired. Okay.
Yeah, she looks great. I think they did pretty well with her. For a Void champ, I think it's a little lackluster. Maybe a little bit more glowing stuff could have been cool. Maybe the weapon, maybe some of the armor could have been glowing.
RGB.
Small little aesthetic.
RGB wings. That's all you need.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. And Jarek, what about you?
I mean, she looks a bit like a Void Epic, really. I mean, she's not really. She doesn't have the wow factor, I must admit. I mean, she's all right. I mean, but again, it's what she does in game, isn't it? Really, rather than what she does to other people's imaginations. So we'll see. But no, she's all right. There's nothing to write home about. It's quite a quick one, that I think. The weapon looks pretty cool, actually. Nice detail on that, but character itself, average.
I think Street Fighter might be possibly doing a lawsuit against Plarium because she literally does look like a Chun-Li knockoff. But yeah, I mean, overall, there's nothing that really wows me. Plarium always does a great job with the visuals, but this one just kind of seems like, oh, okay, it's fine, it's cool, I'm happy. But yeah, Mad Malika, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. Now let's do into the kit and right where everybody is. That's what everybody's here for, right? Let's go with the A1. Attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance, books up to 50% chance of placing a block active skills for 2 turns. Also has an 80% chance to steal 20% chance of the target's turn meter. If the target is already under block active skills. So this would mean, you'd have to bring your Ramontu or your Ronda to kind of pair her with that. But let's throw this to Ace first. Ace, what do you think?
Lady Kim, or not Lady Kim, Lissandra vibe.
Okay.
It just screams Lissandra to me. And then with sheep being a factor, looks like she'll be getting sheep pretty often.
Okay. Jarrett, what about you?
It's not bad, but like I was saying, we're having any debuffs in A1 for arenas kind of dicey, really. But yeah, you know, for PvE that sort of stuff, it's if you've got a particular champion like a Doomtower and stuff, that's always good to block their skills, etc. There's no issues with that.
Hey, Nacho?
Sheep's less of a problem now. Fun fact. I don't think
True.
this is A1's bad at all. At this point, you can build like a split resist and accuracy champion, and you're going to debuff all the people you still want to debuff, and you're not going to get sheeped. Like nukers aren't building 300 accuracy. It's not happening. So if you're trying to block active skills in nuker, you build 250 accuracy, you're going to do it, and you're not going to get sheeped. Like so now you're talking about you need to build 300 resistance, 250 accuracy, whatever speed and HP. So I think the A1's amazing actually. Ursuga's been used with something it's very similar forever. She's still strong pick these days. Like people use her to this day. She may not be as strong as she used to be because there's more in the meta that ignores her passives and whatnot, but she's still extremely strong, and this is part of it.
All right, Kampachi?
I love this A1 from the Ursuga, like the Nacho say. Ursuga A1, I believe, 10% more. I wish her second part, like, the if. She's Void Lego, bro. Like, why there is a if? Like, why there is a if? Just still the target turn meter. It's not a crazy number, only 20%. It can be better. Not bad, but can be better.
Okay. And Pogo?
I like an A1 that takes away turn meter. I mean, it says 100% chance if they're on the block active skills. The A1's putting it down for 2 turns if you can get it to land. That's awesome for an A1. I think it's cool. There's always a way to counteract that kind of stuff or get around it, but for what she's coming with, an A1 that does that, that's cool. I like it.
Okay. So reading this, actually, it's an 100% chance to steal 40% turn meter, if I'm not mistaken, because of the books. You gain 20%. So, but that's only really going to work if, again, you have like a Ronda Ramandu or...
That's not how that works. It
Understood.
doesn't increase the volume, it only increases the chance.
Okay. So, no, maybe not. Okay, then the skill for me is kind of blah. I don't, it falls down to the Ursuga one. I'm not gonna try to build accuracy for it, right? It is what it is. I'd avoid trying to use it, at least for me. The A2, right, targets an ally. If the target ally is not under sheep debuff, places a 50% increase attack, a 30% increase crit rate, and a 30% increase crit damage on them for 2 turns, then activates an extra given turn effect on the target ally. If the target is under sheep, then it removes the sheep from them. So basically, 3-turn cooldown, we're either getting our nuker to be really slow and build him with an absolute nuke of a cannon, or we're cleansing. And this is the first ability in game that cleanses sheep. So thoughts on this one? Let's start with Nacho first.
This is insane. And not because of the sheep. It's actually the increased attack that makes this ability absolutely insane. The turn meter is really strong too, but I'll let you guys think just for a second how many good increased attack enablers there are in PvP. There's 2, 3, maybe. You have Arbiter, Duchess, and Brogni. That's it. Mithrala, kind of. But most of the time, if you're running Mithrala, she's opening cleanse, not increased attack. She's very rarely your increased attack enabler. So, point being, that's what makes this insane. Okay, now we don't need one of those champions to use a plethora of nukers. There are a ton of nukers like Candy, for instance, that people can't use because they don't have a Duchess or somebody that can actually stand on their feet and get hit. You know what I mean? So that makes this ability insane. Honestly, the sheep part, obviously, everyone's like, oh yeah, you can sheep. Yes, obviously, stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I'm excited about this.
Okay. Kampachi?
First of all, have you guys checked any video about her? Like, do we know how exactly this A2 skill working? Like this?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Extra turn?
I'm not sure if it's like
I'm
relentless or annex, like because there's 2 different ways.
I'm thinking, let's say we have a 50% turn meter DPS champion on the field, and we are going to use this ability on him. Is this turn meter going to be failed and he's going to get a turn right away? Or he's going to get a turn, then he's coming back with the same turn meter?
Is it going to full or max turn meter is what we need to know the difference of, because if you get to
Because
max turn
that's a
meter,
big difference.
you are forced to go next no matter what else is going on, and your turn meter can't be reduced to a point where you don't take a turn. If you have full turn meter, things like Evil Eye and what have you can push you back and you can skip your turn still. And which is what happens to Annex and Clan Boss, is he just gets boosted to full turn meter, not max turn meter. Or Relentless actually just gives you a turn. So we definitely need to know the difference on that end.
So,
So if this is like just sorry.
Go ahead.
If this is like boosting or Terminator, like maxing or Terminator, this is how we are getting extra turn, then ability is good. I wish ship part is also included that. Like, let's say your ally is under ship, you are going to cleanse it, you are going to cast increase attack, increase crit rate, increase critical damage buff, alongside with the give him an extra turn. Because right now, when you become a ship and when you become an unship, if I'm not mistaken, you are losing 50% HP, right? So, which means this is going to be nothing. Like, second part of the ability, literally nothing. Like, your ally gonna be vulnerable. To be honest, like, instead of the saving him, I prefer the enemy kill him. At least he's not gonna die. He's gonna lose his ship form, then he can come back normal form. At least enemy gonna lose his Terminator. The thing is, using that on the DPS champion, people are thinking like, I'm gonna make zero speed DPS champion. I mean, I don't know your zero speed DPS champion. I don't know how strong you can make him. Obviously, it's casting lots of great buff there, but I don't know your zero speed DPS champion can kill anybody in the stone skin. There is some obviously strong champion can do that, like Georgette maybe, which is single target. So against the stone skin, which is the meta right now, I don't think this skill gonna be that great. She can be solid on the live arena, but let's say you build a zero speed DPS champion and they ban her. What is your zero speed DPS champion without her on the live arena? It's also another thing. You can also make like a zero speed cleanser, zero speed CC champion, but instead of making one champion zero speed. So yeah, the point is you can make them low accuracy, but you can use like champion like Lady Kimi, she can boost your entire team accuracy, Terminator. So the point is the skill is good, skill is solid. Again, we don't know we don't know clean yet about this skill, but how does that work, stuff like that. But I don't think this skill is deserve Void title. That's what I'm thinking. Void Legendary title.
Okay. As for anybody out there wondering, one of our viewers actually has pulled her Nick Giles, and he's promised me that I can do a showcase on her on Tuesday after he builds her for CBC. So Tuesday, I'm on vacation this week. That'll be coming out first thing. Pogo, what do you think?
I just have one thing about it. To try to make it like how Ken was saying, to make it feel more like a Void Legendary ability, and about how everyone's saying, I think they should take away the increased crit rate out of this, my opinion, and put an increased speed on the other part. If the target is under a sheep, you get removed from sheep, right? But then you come back and you're super vulnerable. It'd be nice to give them an increased speed, give them a chance at getting out of that sticky situation after getting unsheeped. And what is the point of giving somebody increased crit rate with all those other ones when you're more than likely building them for 100 crit rate already, right? Like if everyone on your team's already got 100 crit rate, it's not like you're going to build someone to 70 just to perfectly put them next to her. I mean, maybe you will, but for the most part, you're not. So that seems like a wasted perk there. And going off of what everyone else has said, I feel like just take that away and give increased speed after you come out of sheep. So you got a chance to go a little faster. Maybe a continuous heal they got put on you can help give you a little bit of heal. Something other than just, I'm not a sheep anymore, but I'm 50 HP and I'm vulnerable as shit. Like, it does. It falls more like on an epic Void's ability. Just everyone's like, but you can get unsheeped. Yeah, but is that helpful? Maybe, let them kill the sheep, let them come back, and then we'll do our stuff. I don't know. It needs a little bit more.
Okay. Ace, what about you?
So I'm reading this as an either or ability, right? So either they're under sheep or they're not, right? So if they're not, you get increased crit rate, increased attack, increased crit damage, right? And then it gives them an extra turn. And I read it as a Rhodos extra turn. You just grant an extra turn or a relentless extra turn. I don't see anything about boosting turn meter. So that's how I'm reading it. How the coding is, who knows? But that's cool. Now I have an extra turn, so I can do a double hit on somebody. Let's just say 2 AoEs like a Trenda, for example, or for like a Georgette, right? I can do it A2, A3. Or with Rhodos, like that's cool because I can do an extra increase your HP or whatever. That's how I'm reading it. As far as the sheep debuff, okay, just like Pogo just said, it just takes it off, and that's it. It doesn't grant them an extra turn. It doesn't give them increase nothing. It's just they're now no longer a sheep, and that's it. You know what I mean? And I mean, I like the skill; it's unique, but I don't know how it's going to work. I'd like to see some gameplay on it.
Yeah, Nick's just said in the chat, it gives that character, that champion, extra instant turn. So as soon as you do that, it looks like they go off the bat.
Yeah, he's going to check for us right now to see if it does, if he maintains the turn meter, if it just boosts him to full. But what do you think, Jarek?
Kind of the agreement with Pogo. I think the first part is a bit like they just chucked some buffs together and thinking, great, it's void. Let's just put loads of buffs in there. If that line then activates extra turn was at the bottom of all of the text, then I think it'd be okay. So either A or B, then they get an extra turn. So if you take the sheep off your champ, then they get an extra turn. Then okay, that's fine. They can then do whatever they need to do. The fact that again, if they're just standing there unsheeped, 50% health, then what's the point? So that should probably have like a remove sheep, puts on block damage, something like that. Otherwise, it's just a bit of a it's like it's just been chucked in there for wow factor. It's not really going to be that helpful, I don't think, in live arena or in the game, because as you say, by the time you're done, the other team are going to go and just take them out anyway. So yes, I don't know. I think they put it in, and in their heads they think it's a great A2, but in practice I don't think it's going to work that great.
Okay. So for myself, I mean, I kind of agree a little bit with Pogo here, where it should, even if you just take the increased crit rate out and just to cleanse the sheep debuff, give him increased attack, increased crit damage, and then give him the extra turn, I think that would be a much solid kit for her. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it's still a good skill. I just don't like the either or type thing,
Now wait till we talk about the A3.
Okay, so we do
Looks
have
like a
confirmation
target. Yeah.
that they
Sorry.
Yep. So it looks like we do have confirmation from Nick that it boosts the turn meter to max, and then they take the turn, so you don't get to save the turn meter. It doesn't roll over. So is that what you were gonna say, Kampachi?
Yeah, I was
There's no
worried
effects that
about
let
this
you
skill.
roll over turn meter though.
So I was thinking like instead of making our DPS 0 speed, maybe we can build them normal, like 250, 200 speed, and we can give them extra turn. Then they can use their turn. Then they can come back and they can get a turn again. But looks like they are losing their turn, which is kind of suck for the Void Legendary Champion.
Well, what you can do is make her slower than your nuker, and your nuker goes, she goes, then your nuker goes.
Yes, you can. This tactic can work. This can be nice.
Yeah, but if your nuker's gone, then surely he's done his job right. If they're still standing,
Depends. Very rarely do you win in one hit anymore.
well, you can if you're doing the right teams.
So
You
I
pick
think-
and choose. If you're doing a speed team, you're going to take them out. If you're fighting a team it's got Morton McCarb, then you're bringing the wrong champs in.
I mean, like Ken was saying, most of the meta is stone skin now. Like you've got 2, 3, 4.
Exactly. So then, of course, you're not going to. Then this is not going to be viable, is it? Well, you might as well bring a cleanser, or I've been using Sulfuron with his HP burn, which has been cleansing all the stone skins off. Then I've been nuking them. That's how I've been getting around stone skin now.
Mm-hmm.
Sulfuron, he puts down his HP burn, then he activates it, takes off all his stone skins, and then my nuker takes them out. That's how I can get around stone skin.
I think Sneakers here had a right idea. Imagine him or her with a Baron on the Sky Piercer. Baron automatically goes first right away. Kymar comes in, resets. Baron goes again. I think something like that might work. But Stone Skin may not be as big as a problem as it currently is. We'll have to see when T-minus 4 hours. We'll see then. But now the A3, right, fills the turn meter of all allies by 20% and places a 30% increased speed on them for 2 turns. Also has a 100% chance of decreasing the turn meter of all enemies by 20 and placing a 30% decreased speed debuff on them for 2 turns, down to a 4-turn cooldown. Thoughts on this? Let's start with Nacho first.
This is insane. She's the 3rd best booster in Hydra now. I'd still put Nekmo and Kimmy above her just because of the other things that they do. But this is an instant Hydra champion. Like, she's just going to slam dunk there. And then you talk about the A2. She's actually going to push a ton of damage into your team because she's going to keep boosting one of your relentless DPSs, etc., to full turn meter every 3 turns. So she's literally just giving them one of those. Or you have like Mischief Tank getting boosted, and now you have downtime on your buff, blah, 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 stuff like that. So she's going to be insane in Hydra for this. But for PvP, this is useless. It's just not good enough to bring. You have to bring in so many other things to then decrease turn meter, and just bringing increased speed isn't good enough anymore. Like, you have to, like Jared was saying, like, you have to bring in somebody to blow up their stone skin. You have to strip all their stone skin. Like, you have to get rid of stone skin before this ever becomes a viable ability. And at that point, you might as well just use Kimmy, because at least Kimmy has a chance to just strip the thing right away. You know what I mean? So, like, she's enabling herself more, and she's doing the same amount of boosting on the same cooldown. The decreasing turn meter is really cool once you get into it, but that cooldown for decreased speed is actually really poor. A 4-turn cooldown for decreased speed is one of the worst cooldowns you can have. It's mostly all on 3-turn cooldowns. Increased speed is mostly 4-turn cooldowns, and most of the decreased speeds are 3-turn cooldowns, especially when you consider ones that have boosts. So overall, like when you compare it to other abilities, it's really close, but it's not quite doing enough to do what it wants in PvP. PvE, she's going to be a slam dunk though. Like people are going to use her instantly in Hydra.
Okay. Kampachi?
I agree with the tool. I feel like she's more PvE champion than the PvP. Even to her A1 doesn't make sense on the Hydra. But on the PvP too, this skill, like I just checked the Lysandra. I don't have Lysandra actually. Lysandra A3, if I'm not mistaken, doing the exactly same thing with the Terminator boost instead of the 20%. Yeah, she doesn't have a decreased speed part. She have increased speed part, but both of the skill has 4-turn cooldown. And Lysandra is the Spirit Affinity. I'm gonna talk about that again. Guys, it's not easy to get Void Legendary Champion as a free to play. It took like 6-7 month Mercy, even on the end game grinding. So at least this skill has to be 3-turn cooldown if you're asking me as a Void Lego if we are talking here. And again, like if we are going to use her in the arena, are we going to use A2 first or the A3? Like we have to also decide that. Are we going to build our team around her A3 skill or the A2 skill? Because she has to be start with one of them, not both. She can't be start with both of them. So A3 skill at the same time is a decreased speed land. Obviously, if you start in the battle first, enemy team probably have a stone skin, so you cannot plant your decreased speed on them, so you should be fine. But there's also going to be chance you are going to get a ship from that skill. But yeah, overall, not bad, amazing skill for the Hydra, but PvP is a little bit weak for the Void Lego.
Okay. Poco, what about you?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with everyone else. When I'm looking at this, I don't see a way to be able to use her kit. And she has an arena aura. So you're just like, they want you to have her be, your speed lead and speed everyone up, but then you're not going to have a chance to use the other abilities the way that they're designed. Yeah. I can see what Nacho said, though. She'll be awesome for people that need to get their third team to go faster in Hydra. If you've not got yourself an ECMO yet, this is going to help out there. But yeah, this kit doesn't seem to fall together properly for a PvP, in my opinion.
Okay. Jarek, what about you?
Yeah, so as Pogo's pointed out with the aura, which I didn't realise was the speed. I mean, you could kind of for your kind of old school speed team, you could merge. You basically got her, which is a merge of Arbiter and Lysandra. So if you can make her fast enough, you can get her A3 off to obviously increase your team, decrease their team. But when you're running that, you kind of do like a debuffer and then a nuker anyway, so you don't need an extra slot for the fourth person. It's a bit of I think it's just one of those. They've wanted an arena aura and they put bits in. It's a bit of a mishmash of all different places. I don't think it's going to work that well in PvP. If you haven't got Lysandra and you need someone to go into a speed team, then yeah, she'd be great. But I think anything else really, PvP's not her calling. It's going to be more PvE, Hydra, that sort of stuff. But if you haven't got Lysandra and you've got Arbiter and you want to make, if you've just got your Arbiter and you've somehow got her as well, and you want to make some speed teams and do those sort of gold 3, gold 4 teams, some early gold 5, yeah, it would work, definitely work. But it's not. I don't think it's her forte really.
Okay. Ace, what about you?
I think everybody covered most of everything, but I'm gonna offer for some people, anyways. She's got the increased speed aura, which obviously you put her in the lead spot. Take out Arbiter, you don't have to worry about her. Between her, Arbiter, Kaimar, and Lord Shazar, now you have 4 slots for increased 30% plus on speed, right? So that's one use for PvP. A solution would be, and it could be viable for either PvP or even Hydra, because I think it's a really good spot for Hydra. Changing that third skill, so her A3, into an extra grants an extra turn, right? So you do A3 and grants an extra turn, then go A2. I think that would be even better, and I think that would make her completely viable in both areas, PvP and PvE. That would be my solution. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. So for myself, I mean, it looks like a solid skill. 4-turn cooldown is kind of high. 3 turns would have been better, especially because she is void. But doing, putting it down to a 3-turn, what is it going to do? Cost us an extra buck, and we know that those are pretty hard to come by as it is. So yeah, let's get into her passive. And up until now, you thought you could build her with no accuracy. Hey, cheap debuff wasn't going to be a problem, but now increases this champion's accuracy equal to the amount of speed they have. So this is the first time we've seen this kind of a passive with especially these two stats. I mean, Mithrala has kind of the same thing. But Jarek, I'm going to throw this to you first.
Thanks, man. I mean, I think it's great. It will definitely work with regards to that sort of speed team arena vibe, and for that arena stuff. And Hydra, that sort of stuff. It's great. It's a very good passive. It's interesting. If you can get her up to that kind of 350 speed, then you've got very, very well. I mean, with regards to PvE, you don't really have to worry too much about accuracy, unless you're going for obviously hard mode bosses and that sort of stuff, or Doomsat stuff. Then I don't think you've got too much to worry about with regards to accuracy on your artifacts.
Okay. Let's go with Nacho.
This is great for Hydra. I'm one of the people that builds resist on literally everybody that's not a DPS champion because Mischief's a super bitch. So this lets you actually just build speed, resistance, and like a teeny tiny bit of accuracy, whether that be like a set or a banner or whatever. So I love this. I love it. And this is what strengthens her kit to bring her into that S tier speed booster for Hydra. So.
Okay. All right. Apache?
I agree with the Jarek and the Tool. Like Tool said earlier, like it's super easy to build her Hybrid, which is Hybrid can help you against the ship, like if you have a resistance, and if the enemy team doesn't have a 6-star blessing, you can resist the ship polymorph, and pretty much it's super easy to build her on the Hydra, just like Tool said, just give her like too many speed and little bit accuracy, and just give her like survivability and loss of the resistance, and yeah, it's not going to be hard to build her. Very nice. Especially on the early game, if somebody pull her, like super easy to build, super easy. You can obviously use her in the arena. She's not terrible. The thing is not Void Lego tier for my opinion. That's all.
Okay. Let's go with Pogo.
I always dig when someone's got a passive like this, where if you build something else somewhere, that you get points towards something else somewhere. I think this is awesome. And like Ken was just saying, for somebody that doesn't have very many speed leads or trying to use them in arena, this can help out with that. And like Nacho said, this is going to help out immensely with building an easier kit for Hydra. So I love a passive when it does this. It's not a paragraph long. It's not tricky. It's just, here you go. You do this, we're going to give you that. Awesome. Thank you. Like, I think it's cool.
Okay. Ace?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Especially for early game. Like that's all it is. That's all it is. Just
that's okay.
Build speed and give me accuracy. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a bad skill, especially if you're trying to just build her as fast as possible. She can definitely help out with the accuracy in that aspect, but I don't know. I just feel like if it was resistance, it'd be a little bit better than accuracy. But yeah, we'll have to play test it and see, because she can't cleanse herself from the sheep. So, and then we have her aura, which is 30% speed in all in arena battle. Sorry. Good, bad, Nacho.
I mean, I'm not excited about it whatsoever. Speed auras actually don't mean that much other than like being a speed aura. Most of the time you're not fighting speed versus speed anymore. So it's like you have different brackets of speed champions. Like you have your Arbiters and your Sifis and your Warlords and Yumiko. And then you have your Duchess, stuff like that. So if you don't have one of those super fast enemy champions, you can use a 19 speed aura the same as a 30% aura, especially if your team composition is better. So her having a 30% aura, it literally means no if the kit isn't good enough.
Okay. Apache?
I'll battle. She's Void Lego. Wukong also got an aura, speed aura. He's a spirit of intent. Come on. I'll battle.
Fair. Pogo?
Yeah, I agree with Ken on that. Like I brought it up earlier when we were talking about the other abilities, is an aura that's just specifically for arena. All battles. Give her all battles. She's already, you're already kind of having to build her certain ways for certain things already. Like, don't narrow her down more. Just, all battle it, and I think that'd be just fine.
Okay. Let's go with Jarek.
Yeah, again, what those guys are saying, I think all battles would have been better. I think they're trying to make her, the jack of all trades, and spreading her a bit too thin. They should have just decided, look, she's going to be Hydra, so here's this speed tech, it's going to work for that, this is going to work for that, and blah, blah, blah. But they haven't, and it's a bit of a mishmash. I think it'll work okay. If you're like an early game, big game player, you need some speed in arena, in like the old school arena, fine. Live arena is not really going to work that well, and it's not going to help anywhere else. So, yeah, they could have done better on that.
Okay. Ace, what about you?
I'm okay with it, but at the same time, if it's a Void Legendary, I kind of don't like it in that aspect because I'm kind of on the fence on either way. But either way, I do agree that it should have been all battles, not just arena.
All right, yeah, no, I've got the same sentiment. All battles, she's Void Lego. All right, so yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this new Void Legendary, her skill kit, everything. Do you have her? If you do have her, let me know in the comments down below. You know, where do you plan on using her? Is she going to be a Vault Guardian for you? What are your thoughts? And yeah, get ready for some playtesting coming probably tomorrow on her. So as always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.